The galactic trade station floated. Quietly above the silver clouds of Tenoroth 5, ships from across the galaxy came here to trade goods, fuel, and news. It was a peaceful place. No wars, no fights, just business and silence. But silence doesn't last forever. At exactly 4 o'clock station time, every screen on the station turned red. Incoming. Unknown vessel. No ID. Nitrate monoxide. Origin. Alarms didn't ring. They didn't have to. The silence itself became the alarm. RILA. A young alien technician with blue skin and 4 eyes stared at her console in shock. She had never seen this alert before. No one had. The system was built to recognize every ship in the galaxy. Civilian, military, pirate, smuggler, all had ID codes. But this ship had none. Commander Jarn, the station's leader, entered the control room with his usual calm face. But this time, even he looked worried. "What is this?" he asked. "No ID, no signal." "No response to hails," Rilla replied, her voice shaking. "It's just ... there." The massive screen at the front showed the ship now. It was black, covered in armor that looked like it had been grown, not built. It had no flags, no symbols, no lights. It didn't glow like other ships. It absorbed light, and it was big. It's very big. "Is it from the outer rims?" someone asked. "No," Jarn said quietly. "It's not from anywhere we know." Rilla leaned closer to her console. Her fingers moved quickly. She was trying to read the ship's energy signature. Maybe that could help. But what she saw made her freeze. "This can't be right," she whispered. "What is it?" Jarn asked. "The core energy. It's old, very old, but powerful. And ... the code. It's ancient, from a dead language." Everyone stared at her. "What language?" Jarn asked slowly. Rilla swallowed hard. "Earth Standard." Silence fell again. "Earth is a myth," someone whispered. "No," Jarn said. "Earth was real, long ago, before the Council erased them, but they're extinct." A voice shouted. Rilla shook her head. "That ship says they're not." The warship didn't move. It just floated near the station, silent and still. But it made everyone feel like it was watching them. Then the lights flickered. Just once. Rilla's screen blinked. Message appeared. "We see you." Gasps filled the room. "Shut down all communication lines," John ordered. "Too late," Rilla yelled. "They're already inside our systems." Monitors went black, then green, then black again, and then another message. "We remember." Jarn stepped back. His skin was pale. "We need to contact the Council," he said. "Now," but the comms were dead. Outside, the warship began to move, just slightly. The front panel started to open, slowly, like a giant mouth waking from sleep. "Is it preparing weapons?" Rilla asked. "Defensive mode," Jarn ordered. "Charge the shields." But nothing worked. The warship was not jamming them. It was controlling them, I think. Rilla whispered, ... "I think they're testing us." The lights returned. Screens blinked back to life. But this time was something new. A single image filled every display. A planet burning. The word Earth in bold letters. And a voice. Deep, cold, human. "We asked for peace. You answered with fire. Now we return." The ship powered. Its weapons but did not fire. Then it sent one final message. "This is only the beginning." In seconds, the warship vanished. No sound, no flash. Just ... gone. Jarn stared at the empty screen. His voice barely a whisper. "They're not myths. They're real. They're real." Rilla looked up at him. "What did we do to them?" she asked. Jarn didn't answer. He turned and left the room. Rilla sat in silence, the same question playing, again and again in her mind. What did we do to the humans? The station never returned to normal. After the human warship vanished, silence fell again. But this time, it wasn't peaceful. It was the kind of silence that came after something terrible. Everyone was afraid to speak. Even the machines beeped quietly, as if they understood what had happened. Rila sat alone in the data room. She couldn't stop thinking about the message. We remember. She opened the old station files, ones no one had touched in centuries. Most were blocked, labeled classified by Council Law 7, but Rila knew how to get past those walls. She had been curious about Earth since her training days. Her fingers moved fast across the console. One by one, old documents came back to life. The first file showed a star map. In the center was a small blue planet, Earth. A red circle was drawn around it. Underneath, one sentence was written, "Do not engage. If contacted, evacuate." Rilla frowned. Why such a warning for a planet that no longer exists? She dug deeper. Reports, videos, old council debates. Some records were damaged, some were erased. But one thing was clear. Earth had been real, and dangerous then, she found. A secret meeting transcript from 300 years ago. Council leader Voss, humans grow too fast. In just a few hundred years, they reached beyond their own star. They do not follow rules. They create their own. Admiral Reth, their emotions make them unstable, yet their minds are brilliant. They make weapons from scrap, adapt faster than any species. Council vote, destroy all human colonies, erase their history. Earth is now forbidden. Rila leaned back, shocked. The council didn't forget Earth. They erased it. She heard the door open behind her. It was Commander Jarn. You shouldn't be in here, he said quietly. Rilla didn't turn around. They were killed, wiped out by us. Jarn walked forward and stood beside her. I know, he said. I was trained to say Earth never existed. But my father once told me a story. Said his grandfather saw a human once. Said the human fixed a starship engine in 10 minutes using melted wires in his own blood. He paused, looking at the flickering screen. We thought they were gone, he whispered. But that ship... Rilla looked up at him. They didn't just survive, they evolved. Suddenly, an alert flashed across the system. Second unknown. Ship detected. Larger than first. Jarn and Rilla rushed to the control deck. The new warship was massive, 10 times the size of the last one. Its surface was black like before. But this one had something more markings in glowing red dot. And this time, it sent a clear message before even arriving. For every world you burned, we built 10. For every lie you told, we stored truth. Every death, we kept names. Is this a war declaration? Someone asked. Jarn shook his head. No, this is a warning. And the lights dimmed again, and the ship spoke. But this time, everyone heard it. We are not your enemy, unless you want us to be. Gasps filled the room. Some shouted to fire weapons. Others told them to stay calm. The room filled with noise and fear, but Rila stared at the screen in silence. She looked into the dark glow of the human ship and whispered, They came back, not for war, not yet, but for truth. Behind her, Jarn's voice was low and firm. Prepare for council contact. The humans just made the whole galaxy remember the name we tried to forget, Earth. The station was locked down. Guards stood at every hallway. The crew was told not to panic, but fear hung heavy in the air like thick smoke. The second human ship hadn't fired. It hadn't moved in hours, but something felt wrong in the control. Room Rila sat in front of her console. The screen looked normal, too normal. Why aren't they doing anything? One officer asked. Commander Jarn stood with his arms crossed. Because they already are, he said quietly. Rayla's eyes widened. She had just seen something strange in the system logs. There's a new program running. She said, What kind of program? Jarn asked. I don't know. I didn't install it. It's hiding under our normal systems. Quiet? Too quiet? She opened the code window. Lines of strange symbols flashed across the screen. It wasn't council language. It wasn't any known programming language. But some of the lines looked familiar. Her eyes narrowed. This isn't alien code. What is it? Jarn asked. walking closer. "It's human," Rilla whispered. Suddenly her screen blinked. A single word appeared. "Listening." Rilla froze. "Who's listening?" The light soar flickered. All systems glitched just for a second. Another word appeared. Watching, Commander Jarn looked at his own screen. Showed the same message. "They're already inside," he said. "Inside everything. They didn't break in," Rilla added. "They didn't hack our system. They became part of it." One by one, every screen on the station showed new text. "You erased our history, but we saved everything then." Silence, no alarms, no messages. Just a soft humming noise. The kind of sound a computer makes when it's working quietly in the background. "Are they recording us?" an officer asked. "No," Rilla said. "They're searching for something." Turned sharply. "Searching for what?" Before she could answer, another message appeared. "Where is Project Ashfall?" Jarn's face turned pale. "What is Project Ashfall?" Rilla asked. But Jarn said nothing. The message repeated. "Where is Project Ashfall?" And then a new word. Appeared LIES. Suddenly, alarms rang. All doors sealed shut. Weapon systems went offline. Emergency lights blinked red. Then the lights died completely. Everything turned black. Only. The screen stayed on flickering in green code. A sound came from the speakers, not words. Not music. A whisper. Faint, cold, metallic, but clear. "We remember everything." Rilla's breath caught in her throat. "Commander," she said slowly, "what is Project Ashfall?" Jarna didn't answer, but Rilla saw the look in his eyes. He knew, and whatever it was the reason the humans came back. Then the screens changed again. This time, it showed old images, photos even. Earth cities in flames. Children crying. Ships falling from the sky. Council ships. The truth was clear now. The humans weren't. The monsters, they were the ones who survived. The war wasn't started by Earth. It was started by the galaxy. Arla felt cold. "They're not sending a message," she said. "They're sending proof." Jarn looked down, and the galaxy needs to prepare. The truth is about to burn brighter than any star. Suddenly, outside the window, the human ship moved, just a few meters. Then it stopped, and one last message flashed on every screen. "Project Ashfall began here. We are not finished." For 6 hours, the human warship floated silently beside the station. No weapons fired, no more messages. It's just that last warning. We are not finished. Inside the command room, everyone waited. They watched the giant ship on the screen, its dark surface, smooth like stone, glowing faintly red near the center. Then, without warning, a new signal appeared on Rilla's console. "Boarding protocol 0. Initiated." "What does that mean?" she asked, confused. Commander Jarn's face turned stiff. "It means they're coming," he said. "Coming where?" Rilla asked. "Here," he said. "Inside the station." Gasps filled the room. Before anyone could react, a loud clanking sound echoed through the docking bay. One of the sealed ports was opening by itself. "How are they overriding our doors?" An officer shouted. "They're not overriding them," Rilla replied, staring at her console. "They're using a command that shouldn't exist. Protocol 0 isn't in our system." "It is now," Jarn said grimly. "Why die down in the docking bay?" Emergency lights flickered red. The security team arrived in full armor, weapons raised. The docking port hissed. The air turned cold. And then it opened. Everyone held their breath. A single figure stepped through. Tall, in a black suit that shimmered like liquid metal. The helmet was smooth, with no eyes, no mouth, just a dark reflection. But it wasn't a robot. It breathed slow, steady human breaths. The guards raised their weapons. "Stop. Identify yourself." The figure didn't move. Then it raised one hand and placed something gently on the floor. A small metal cube. It blinked blue once. Then again. Then played a hologram. The image showed an alien city. Peaceful, bright, beautiful. Then flames council ships fired. Buildings collapsed. Screams echoed. The last frame froze on a child human crying as the sky burned. Above him, then the cube went silent. The figure finally spoke. Its voice was low, calm, male. This is what the council buried, but we never forgot. Jarn and Rila watched from the screen in the control room. It's a message, Jarn said. No, Rila whispered. It's a test. The human continued speaking, standing calmly in front of the armed soldiers. You erased us from your history, but we wrote our truth in code, in steel, in silence. You feared what we might become, so you tried to end us before we began. He turned slowly, facing the security cameras. You failed. And then he removed his helmet. Gasps echoed. Across the station, the face was unmistakably human, but the eyes, deep, glowing faintly blue, were something more. Something evolved. Commander Jarn's voice shook. This is impossible. Rila stared. She didn't see a soldier. She saw a survivor. The human looked directly into the camera. You want peace? He asked. Then give us the truth. Where is Project Ashfall? Suddenly, all screens on the station turned black. Again, then a final message appeared. Next time, we bring the rest. And just like that, the figure disappeared in a flash of white light. Not back to the ship. Gone. Like light itself. Rila turned to Jarn. They can teleport. They can do things we don't even understand yet, he replied. Then what now? She asked. Jarn didn't blink. We prepare for the Council's lies to come crashing down. He looked out the window at the massive warship still floating. Beside them, because if humans are truly back, this galaxy is about to change forever. 3 days had passed since the human visitor vanished. The Council sent no help. No, it's only silence. But the warship still floated outside the station watching. Waiting inside the command room, Rila stared at a blinking dot on her screen. It was a message coded in Old Earth binary. Hidden inside the systems the humans had briefly taken over, the message was short. Ashfall began on Nairos 7, beneath the ice. She showed it to Commander Jarn. Nairos 7 is a frozen moon, he said. No life, no colonies, just cold. Maybe. That's why they chose it, Rila replied. To hide something. They took a fast scout ship and flew to Nairos 7. It was a quiet journey. Neither of them spoke much. They both felt it, the weight of something buried, something dangerous. The ship landed on a glacier field. Wind howled across the surface, and ice cracked under their boots. Using scanners, Rila searched below the surface. After 10 minutes, her eyes widened. Sir, there's something under the ice, something huge. They activated a pulse drill. The ice melted and cracked for hours. Then they saw it. A door. It was metal dark gray. It's covered in old symbols. Human symbols. They cleared the ice and opened it. Steam hissed out from inside. A tunnel led deep underground. They followed it. The path was long, cold, and silent. But at the end, they reached a chamber. The lights flickered on by themselves. In the middle of the room stood a giant machine. And inside the glass, at its core, ... was a human, frozen, still, but alive. Rila gasped. Is he sleeping? Jarn nodded slowly. Cryostasis. Ancient tech, but advanced. Around the room, old screens began to light up. Data filled the air projections of Earth's history. Battles, names, files. Rila's hands shook. It's all here, she whispered. The truth. The Council attacked Earth first. They feared humans would rise too fast. Then one screen played a video. A young human scientist spoke directly to the camera. If you are seeing this, war failed. It means they tried to erase us. And it means you're ready to hear the truth. Project Ashfall was not a weapon. It was a backup. A way to preserve what we are so one day someone would remember. This man behind me is the last key. His memory holds everything they took. Protect him or lose everything. Message ended suddenly. Loud noise echoed through the chamber. Rila turned. The cryopod hissed. The man inside began to move. His eyes opened slowly, glowing faintly blue. Commander Jarn stepped back. "Is that—" The man opened his mouth. His voice was dry, quiet, but powerful. "How long have I slept?" Rilla answered softly. "Over 300 years." He nodded, then looked straight at her. "Did they lie?" She hesitated, then nodded. "Yes." The man stepped out of the pod. He looked around the chamber, the frozen truth, the buried data, the stolen history. His fists clenched. Then it's time the stars remembered what they tried to forget. Suddenly, a signal pinged on Jarn's wrist device. A message from the station. "The warship is moving." The human warship finally moved. It turned slowly, its engines glowing like fire beneath black ice. But it didn't attack. It just shifted. Positioned like a beast waking up, back on the frozen moon. Rilla watched the message on Jarn's wrist device. "The station is on high alert," he said. "They think the ship will fire." The cryo man, now awake, now walking, looked toward the sky. "No," he said calmly. "They're not ready yet," Rilla asked. "Who are you?" The man touched the old console beside the pod. His fingers moved across it like he had never been asleep. "I was once called Draven. I led the Ashfall Protocol. I am one of the last firstborn of Earth's final city." She blinked. "What is Ashfall really?" He looked her in the eyes. Ashfall was not just a backup, it was a promise. A promise that if we fell we would rise again. Suddenly the ground shook. A ship descended outside the ice chamber. Council. Markings? It was a strike vessel. "They found us," Jarn said. Draven smiled faintly. "Of course they did. They always come when the truth is near." Jarn pulled his weapon. "You need to protect the data and get you out." Draven raised a hand. "No need to run." The door exploded open. Council soldiers rushed in, heavily armed. Faces cold, weapons ready. They didn't speak. They pointed their rifles. The commander stepped forward. A tall alien in golden armor. "You are not allowed here," he said too. "Jarn, this site is restricted." Rilla stepped forward. By whose order?" "By the council's silence." Draven stepped between them. "Then silence ends today." Before anyone could move, Draven lifted a small device from his chest. It blinked blue once, then every weapon in the room shut down. Powerless. The council soldiers stared at their rifles in shock. "EMP wave," Jarn whispered. "Portable, no," Draven said. "Not EMP. Neural lock. Human designed. Their minds are still working, but their machines now answer to me." The soldiers froze. Draven walked slowly to the council commander. "You feared us because we learned faster than you. Hated us because we refused to kneel." The commander growled. "You were a danger to order." Draven leaned in. "Your order was built on lies." He turned to Rilla. "You still want the truth?" She nodded. "Then come with me." Touched the panel again. Another hidden chamber opened beneath the floor. It revealed an old human ship, small but sleek, covered in frost but ready. Draven stepped aboard. Jarn and Rilla followed. Inside, the ship powered up immediately. The screens blinked to life. A map of the galaxy appeared. Hundreds of red dots lit up. "What are these?" Jarn asked. "Memory vaults," Draven said. "Every one of them holds a piece of Earth's story. The council tried to destroy them all." Rilla stared. "But they failed," she said. Draven looked ahead. "No," he said quietly. "They succeeded in hiding the truth. But now we're here to bring it back." The ship rose. Outside, the council soldiers remained frozen, helpless. Rilla whispered. "They feared you would return." Draven didn't smile. He simply said, "They were right to be afraid." As the small ship broke through the clouds, the giant warship waiting above turned to face them, and for the first time, it opened its hangar. Draven's ship flew inside, into the heart of the forgotten fleet. The hangar was massive. As Draven's small ship entered the warship, bright white lights lit up the dark metal walls. The space inside could hold cities, and it wasn't empty. Ariella gasped. Hundreds of ships stood quietly in formation, black, silver, and red each. one built like a predator. I thought this was just one ship, she whispered. Draven shook his head. This is a carrier, a home, a vault of vengeance. Jarn looked around. Why haven't they attacked the council? Because we waited, Draven said. For truth, for witnesses, for proof.
Now the time is near.
As they stepped off the ship, soldiers appeared. Humans, but not like before. These were quiet. Focus.com. They wore armor that bent light. Their eyes glowed faintly blue, just like Draven's. They look like you, Rila said. Draven nodded. They were born from pain, raised in silence, trained beneath forgotten moons. Galaxy slept. We prepared. A young woman approached them. She bowed slightly to Draven. Commander, the silent fleet is at full strength. All systems are green. The captains await your word. Jarn was stunned. An entire fleet, hidden for centuries. Yes, Draven replied. We never needed numbers, we needed timing. He turned to a giant window that showed the stars, and far in the distance a cluster of lights moved. Council fleets. They were coming. They know you woke up, Jarn said. They always knew this day would. Come, Dravan answered. Rila stepped beside him. You're going to war? Draven looked at her carefully. No, I'm going to speak. But this time, they will listen. If not, then the stars will burn with memory. He turned to his officers. Prepare the message. Screens lit up all across the ship. The signal was sent through every deep frequency channel, broadcast to every world, to every station, to every species. Rila watched the message go live. We are the forgotten children of Earth. We were told we started the war, but you never saw the truth. We did not return for revenge. We returned for justice. Showed images, real ones. Earth cities falling under council fire. Children screaming in bunkers. Council leaders smiling as they erased human records. Cryochambers buried in ice. Then the camera turned. Draven spoke directly. We will not kneel. We do not want your mercy. We want your truth. And if you cannot give it, he paused, then we will take it. The message ended. Every ship in the silent fleet powered up. Engines roared like thunder in space. The humans had said nothing for centuries, but now they had spoken, and the stars would never be silent again. The stars were no longer quiet across the galaxy. The truth spread like fire. Worlds once loyal to the council paused. Questions were asked. Protests rose. Whispers turned into voices. What if the humans were right? In the council chambers, panic grew. Their secrets were out, their lies exposed. But pride held them together, sent their fleets. Over 200. Warships moved toward the human silent fleet. On board the lead council ship, High Commander Reth spoke to his captains. Crush them. Burn the message. History will remember only what we allow. But he was wrong, because history had already changed in deep space. Near the black sun of Triner, the two fleets faced each other. The council sighed, loud, proud, burning with arrogance. The humans, cold, calm, silent as death. On board the human flagship, Draven stood with Rila and Jarn beside him. All systems ready, said the young officer. Draven nodded, then he turned to Rila. You've seen the truth. Do you still believe in the council? Rila shook her head. I believe in truth, and they ran from it. Jarn stepped forward. I was one of them. I helped silence your people. I was wrong. Draven placed a hand on his shoulder. Then help us end it. Suddenly, the council fleet opened fire. Laser beams cut through space. Missiles flew like comets. But the human ships moved like shadows, dodging, bending light, turning invisible. And then, he struck one command from Draven. Just one. Word now. The silent fleet lit up the sky. But they didn't destroy. Their weapons disabled, their shots blinded, their systems hacked. One by one, council ships lost control. Pilots panicked. Officers shouted. But nothing worked in minutes. The battle was over, no one had died. But the council fleet was finished. Draven's voice was broadcast. To every ship, we could have burned you. But we did not come for revenge. We came to show you what mercy looks like. He paused, then added, now tell your people what Earth really was. And then he gave the order. The humans stood down. The war was over without fire. The galaxy watched in silence, and then, one by one, worlds began to speak. We remember Earth. Remember the truth. Let them return. Years passed. Draven disappeared, again his duty done. The silent fleet became guardians, not conquerors. And on Earth, green returned, the cities were rebuilt. Human children laughed under blue skies. Rila stayed with them, so did Jarn. The story of Earth was taught across the stars, not as a warning, but as a legend, and on a stone wall near Earth's new capital, a message was carved. We were erased, but not forgotten. We were broken, but not beaten. We were human. Now, the stars remember us. The end.